Welcome to the Temple of the Gods. My name is Max. I am the Temple Magus. I am a devotee of the Sumerian god Enki. I work with the Anunnaki and Egyptian gods and goddesses. And today I'm going to be talking about a sensitive topic, and that topic is the practice of human sacrifice and animal sacrifice, and why you should never practice this. And I'm going to give you a list of reasons why. I'm also going to be getting into why people get tempted and addicted to this type of practice. So let's dive in. The number one reason you should not practice human sacrifice or animal sacrifice is because, first of all, the gods don't like it. The spirits, they don't like it. And it creates a disruption in the field. It creates an inversion. It creates black holes in the collective consciousness. When life is collapsing on itself, naturally it creates death. When a star collapses on itself, it creates a black hole. It vacuums everything into it. Into the underworld it goes. So the spirit world, the spirits, the gods, and various other spiritual beings that uphold balance in the multiverse do not like this. They do not like humans or other beings using living creatures as a form of performing magic, using their life force, their magic that is in them, that was given to them by the gods to live for selfish reasons, for predatory reasons, is highly frowned upon. And it's a huge sin. That's the first reason. The second reason, which has more to do with the practitioner, is it actually damages their toroidal field. While this practice is addicting and does open up the toroidal field in a way that is unnatural, sinful even, it's manipulating nature. It dysregulates nature. So it's breaking the laws of nature. And this causes not just havoc in the spirit world and the external world and the families of those practitioners, but also in their own psyches and their own spirit as well. So it is a very treacherous path. I've spoken to quite a lot of people that come from this background that didn't necessarily practice it themselves, but had family members from their tradition, from their cultures, that practice this sort of thing. And after going to a deep debate and discussion about which path was truly in alignment with the gods and the multiversal balance, coming from a background of working with starlight and harnessing life force according to the universal laws, discussing this topic with someone that saw those type of things growing up was very interesting. Because even though I wasn't brought up in that type of background where I had family members practicing that type of thing, I knew what it caused. I knew the damages it caused. I knew the side effects practices like those caused, mainly from my own life experience with spiritual warfare and meeting people that are like that, and seeing how they suffer, seeing the difficulties they endure, seeing the karmic backlash they endure. And this is something I was able to confirm with a lot of people that have family members that come from this background of practicing human sacrifice, child sacrifice, animal sacrifice. And it was a very interesting experience, both for me and them. Because when you practice this sort of thing, what happens is typically, even though for a certain amount of time you get what you want, because it's an extreme level of life force being released that's being manipulated by these magicians unnaturally, there's always a drawback. Either someone you know gets into a car crash, or you lose a lot of money, or you get into a car crash. Things like that just happen, right? And these people think these things are very normal. They experience the very highs and the very lows when it comes to energetic turbulence, because they're dealing with very chaotic energies when they perform these type of sacrifices. Why do people practice human sacrifice, animal sacrifice, child sacrifice? I'll tell you why. We have two types of force in this universe, multiverse. One is life force, and the other is death force. So the life force is the energy that comes from the gods, the heavens. It's a limitless energy from the Godhead. It is the lightning bolt. It is the cosmic fire, the Holy Spirit. Limitless energy. It's the limitless energy of the universe. It's starlight. It's self-sustaining, right? And then we have the energies from the underworld, which are disconnected from the heavenly energy. So what happens is when you're disconnected from the heavenly energy, you become what's known as a fallen angel. You know, you have the angels fallen from heaven. That's basically man or any other entity that's disconnected from the heavenly energy in the underworld. Even in order to be on earth, you have to have some sort of heavenly energy. But if you're disconnected from the heavenly energy, from the Holy Spirit, from the cosmic force, from the lightning bolt, you are basically stuck in the underworld with no sustenance. You're a finite being. There's no soul complex. So you need energy from souls. You become like a vampire, right? So in the old world, the heavenly realm was associated with the gods, and the gods educated mankind, helped mankind grow, helped them become self-sustaining, while the giants, or these beings from the underworld, they focused more on destroying the sustainability of mankind and hoarding the energy of mankind for themselves, for their sustenance. So a lot of these practices that were like human sacrifice, animal sacrifice, child sacrifice, these things came from the giants. These things came from the giants because they needed us to feed them. They need humans as food. Not just the blood, but also the fear. They need the fear alone as sustenance. So you'll hear a lot of these disclosure type people talking about archons and the demiurge and controllers and reptilians. And that's literally what it is. You know, we have serpentine beings that were known as the giants in Norse mythology. Those are the Draco reptilians, the negatively polarized reptilian groups that have been interacting with planet Earth. They disguise themselves as the gods in Mesoamerica. They disguise themselves as the gods in Egypt. They deceived mankind into practicing these type of things. And in doing so, they were able to hijack a lot of people. They were able to hijack a lot of magicians and people in power. So this type of practice isn't just for gaining power. It splits the person's soul in a way where it allows these entities, giants, Dracos, archons, to latch on to the people performing it. And they go into this consciousness merging, possession, if you will. And they develop this familiar. They become like a familiar or an alternate persona, a split personality, right? I call this the fallen angelic personality, quote unquote. It's the part of us that gets trapped in the underworld. This is what you can call selling your soul, if you will. So the practice is very dangerous and it is extremely unhealthy. Not only will you be hurting yourself, but the spirits of nature and the gods, and as well as many other beings like the draconic rulers, will be sending their troops after you if you practice these type of things, because they disrupt the field, period. Not just your field, but the field. So if you don't want the spiritual celestial police on your ass, I suggest you don't practice this at all. There are organic ways of tapping into this type of power that is much more lasting, much healthier, and much more fulfilling. There are no karmic backlash, no loss, no treachery, nothing of that sort. And it's a very healthy way of living. It's in alignment with the design of the gods. So in essence, you want to stay away from people that are hungry for power, because people that are only hungry for power are the ones that are most tempted by this type of practice, because they'll value power more than morality and wisdom. Because when you are a wise magician, a wise mystic, a wise practitioner, you understand how energy and consciousness works. And you'll understand that killing another being for empowering your magic or your manifestation is actually hindering your own power. It's also creating a killing, death type of energy in your aura too, because what goes up must come down. So the science of this is very simple. The science of it is very simple, and it's simply this. We have the tree of life. And those that are disconnected from the heavenly energy, also known as Kether, they cannot harness the creative energy of the Godhead. So what they have to do is they have to extract it from a being that is storing it within their vessel. So when that being is killed, it creates like a rush of energy flowing back up to the heavens. And they basically use this being as a hitch, as like a carpool up to the heavens. But what these practitioners don't know, as they are harvesting this being to using it basically as like an Uber up to the heavens, there are spirits up there that are watching the entire thing. So what do? They smash them back down. And that's the original. That is the original template for harnessing the God force. It's the descending energy. Everyone's like, let's ascend, right? The Ascension propaganda, which is all brainwash. Ascension is only the second half. People forget the first half, which is descend. You have to descend as the Godhead. You have to descend as the higher self, right? You have to descend so that you can catalyze your lower self to ascend. This is how this works. That's why you have to gather energy from the stars, from the limitless energy of the universe, from the gods, from the crown, right? From the pole star, from the zodiac, from the sun, from the sky. And that naturally energizes the human self and the lower centers to have more energy, and it catalyzes it to go up. Just like a lightning bolt, right? Positive charge, negative charge, right? And that creates a lightning bolt, right? But these people, they don't have connections to the negative charge. I mean, to the positive charge. But these people don't have a connection to the positive charge. So they're just a negative charge. They're purely vampiric, purely absorbent. They're just absorbing. They don't have a generative quality to them, right? That's also why they have no power. They can't have any power over you because they don't have a generative principle, right? They can't generate energy. So there is a balance that you have to maintain when you're mastering magic as a true magician, and is to master your light and your darkness. So that's where a lot of white magicians also don't see the full picture, because the black side, the black magic in itself isn't bad. It's just service to self. When you have no service to others, and when you're just absorbent, you have no connection to the light, you'll get a lot of these very rebellious practitioners that are very emotionally charged to rebel against any type of rationality, order, morality, and they just go against light. They go against life in general. So they become these very vampiric people. And a lot of people that have this type of tendency are also the ones that have serious father issues, because the connections we have with our fathers are what determine our connection to the light, to the divine light. Because the darkness connects to the mother, to the feminine energy, while the light connects to the divine father, to Father Sky. So if you don't have a good relationship, it doesn't have to be with your physical father, but with your own masculine energy, with the masculine energy of the universe itself, it's going to be very tempting for you to go down this path and not see the truth for what it is. So the original way to do this is to bring down the light, the higher self, and to naturally catalyze the dark energy to ascend to the heavens. This is the cycle, the serpent biting its own tail, right? This is the natural cycle of how energy flows. So, these beings that don't have this energy get involved in things like child trafficking, human trafficking, and they basically feed these people that they prey on to these beings in the underworld. And that causes them to unleash a massive amount of force and unlock their powers momentarily. They have access to very crazy powers momentarily. But then if you don't sustain it, you get severe health issues, you start aging very rapidly, etc. And your mental health declines insanely. So there is a lot of negative backlash in general, a lot of insanity involved. A lot of them end up getting locked up or being put in asylums because they go so crazy. Because it's literally splitting your mind. It's splitting your consciousness. That's what it's doing. So when you disconnect yourself from your light, right? When you quote unquote sell your soul and disconnect yourself from that light, you lose your ability to be self-conscious. You lose the ability to control yourself, right? It's like you're just pure chaos. You're just the collective unconscious at this point. That's what happens. So you want to have balance between the white magic and the black magic, the yin and the yang, the light and the darkness, right? You want to have balance between the right hand path and the left hand path, because that's when you access the balance in the middle channel. It's quite that simple, honestly. You don't want to get too wrapped up in, okay, I have to do this. If I want to become a serious practitioner, I got to join this cult. I got to perform this disgusting act. No, you don't. You don't have to do anything like that. Plain and simple. Some of the most powerful practitioners in the world have never taken a life to practice magic. Never. A lot of Taoist immortals, Himalayan immortals, they've never taken a life to become immortal. They've never sucked the blood of children to become immortal. They've never done anything like that. There are ways to harness power in accordance to nature. And that's why I have made this channel. Because the gods understand that there's a lot of corruption on the planet. I've seen it for myself. There is a lot of corruption on the planet, a lot of trafficking, a lot of chaos, a lot of dark magic. It's not even black magic, it's just dark magic. It's like, it's just vampiric, purely vampiric. And that's not healthy. That swallows the planet into a black hole, right? It's not healthy. So that's why I'm sharing this knowledge, because people need to know that not all occult practices revolve around human sacrifice or child sacrifice or animal sacrifice. It doesn't revolve around any of these things. It doesn't. There's a science as to why people do those things, but it's still not, it's not natural, it's not efficient. It doesn't work. Like in the long run, it doesn't work. It creates much more chaos than order. That's why I hope you hear my message and you understand the severity of these practices, not just in terms of legality. Like, the whole morality behind it is insane. Like, you can't just harvest people like that. And second, it's not healthy. Third, there will be celestial and human cops after you. So it's not favorable. It's not ideal. Unless you want the entire multiverse collapsing on you. It's a way to restart your entire karmic cycle. That and suicide. Suicide is one of the things that restarts, because you're taking your own life. You're destroying yourself, which is, again, a black hole. Or destroying someone else. That's another thing. So, obviously, this doesn't include eating meat. If you need to eat meat to sustain yourself, that's a whole different story. The spirits actually don't have anything against that. There are ancestors in the body that ate meat for thousands of years, and we need to respect them. But if you are using the life force, the solar energy of another being to create with your magic, to create with its magic, then that's a big no-no. It's a big no-no. And there are spiritual systems formed against that. So keep that in mind. If you ever get tempted, you will have a lot of spirits having a lot of beef with you. So that's all I have to say about this grotesque practice and this topic. In the end, it all comes back full circle. In the end, whether you think people are doing this type of thing to you, if you think people are using sacrifices to attack you spiritually, there is nothing for you to worry about. And especially if you're a spiritually solidified being. But if you commit crimes, if you live a unrighteous life, then you will most definitely get entangled in that black hole as well. But if you are a self-sustaining energy source, connected to the gods, connected to the earth, working with the natural functions of nature, you have nothing to worry about. So that's all I have to say about this practice. That's all I have to say about this topic in general. I don't recommend anyone practices it, personally. And yeah, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time.